Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's the latest headline from the Crypto Basic. XRP holder's attorney reveals how much Hinman was paid by an Ethereum-related firm when he was at SEC. Now, look, we already knew that former SEC Director Bill Hinman was paid millions of dollars while he was impacting intentionally global crypto markets with his Ethereum free pass speech, June 14th of 2018. We're aware of that. So those things undoubtedly would have helped to those ends. But what I didn't realize here is that this was via profit sharing, which just makes it that much more damning. Because as Attorney John Deaton has pointed out, and I'll show you where he's pointing it out yet again, it's not the first time he said this, but he's right. Hinman was 100% criminally barred from doing what he ultimately did here. And so this is all once secret information that is now public, and happy to spread it around and share it because the SEC is a terrible and corrupt organization. So I'm going to share with you perspective from Attorney John Deaton as well as Attorney Bill, who is a member of the XRP community as well. But before going any further, I do want to be clear that I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So into the piece we go. John Deaton, the attorney representing over 72,000 XRP holders in a lawsuit against the SEC, has revealed more about Bill Hinman, a former high-ranking SEC official's conflicts of interest regarding the oversight of cryptocurrency. According to Attorney Deaton, despite being the head of SEC's corporate finance, Hinman still received over $9 million in profit sharing from Simpson Thacher, a partner of Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Attorney Deaton shared documents showing how much Hinman received in profit sharing between 2017 and 2018, the period when he made the controversial Ethereum free pass speech. Exactly, and so and the actual documents are shared. I'm going to pull that up for you so you can see for yourself here. It's publicly available information. But this is where the journey starts. There was an article that was shared by Empower Oversight, which is the nonprofit entity that sued the SEC this past December because they weren't complying with Freedom of Information Act requests. And so it was a Law 360 article that was shared by Empower Oversight, and I'm not going through that in this particular video, primarily because there's a paywall, and I just ain't against the deal with every damn paywall that Moon Lambo encounters, you know what I'm saying? But there was a snippet from that article that was screen grabbed by Attorney Bill here on the screen, member of the XRP community, and that snippet from the article, in part, reads as follows. And this is, so they're referencing the SEC. The commission also cites the exemption for deliberative process records, saying it redacted parts of records that showed internal discussions between the SEC's Office of Ethics Counsel and the United States Office of Government Ethics about Hinman's payments from a retirement plan. So there you see what the SEC is doing here is they're hiding information between two different parts of the government that are ethics agencies, and they're redacting that information, the discussion on that, keeping it from the public, claiming that there's privilege. But the problem here is, as Attorney Bill very eloquently points out, the discussion that was, the reason the discussion was taking place was because of what Hinman did and concerns involvement in a deliberative process. I'll let Bill speak for himself here. He's exactly hitting the nail on the head here to just illustrate the absurdity of all of this. Attorney Bill says, "Help me out, John Deaton," and he did tag John Deaton there on Twitter. He said, "How could discussions between the SEC's Office of Ethics Counsel and the U.S. Office of Government Ethics about Hinman's retirement payments be part of a deliberative process, even if a conflict arose from his involvement in a deliberative process?" So think about that. This all stemmed from a Hinman deliberative process, and then there's two different ethics entities from the government conversing about it, and then on top of that, the SEC says, okay, we're claiming privilege on this, so this should not be out in the wild either. This should not be. You see what they're doing here? Masking everything, even though it makes no damn sense. And so Attorney John Deaton did respond to Attorney Bill, and he said, "Bill, as usual, you are on point. The amount of concealment going on at the SEC is extraordinary. Hinman didn't only get payments from a retirement plan. In 2017 and 2018, and at the time of his speech, he received two types of payments. And I'll just pause and note, This is where I knew part of this. So I knew the figure. You probably heard the overall figure that Bill Hinman earned. We'll call air quotes earned from Simpson Thatcher. We knew it was $15 million. That part's not new. But the way in which he was paid it, probably a much bigger problem than if it were paid in a particular different way, because it's profit sharing, as John Deaton points out here. So again, in 2017 and 2018, and at the time of his speech, he received two types of payments. And this is John Deaton saying this. He says, number one, $1.57 million in retirement, and two, profit sharing payments. He received almost $9 million in profit sharing plus retirement while at the SEC. $15 million total. And so this struck me the same way that it struck Attorney Bill, because Attorney Bill then retweeted that from John Deaton and said the following: I did not even realize there was a profit share component. I thought it was all retirement payments. So the profit share makes the potential for conflict more acute because it is variable and could be impacted by favorable SEC decisions. Exactly. It's not even some sort of set price where he's going to get this no matter what happens with Simpson Thatcher and the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. No matter what, right? That's not the case. I mean, sure, there was a retirement portion. I just cited that because Attorney John Deaton shared it. But there's a part of it that moves, the profit sharing part. So if things go well for Simpson Thatcher, there's more for him. So it gives motive, clearly, to behave in a particular way, right? That's the problem. That's exactly what Attorney Bill is getting out here. And so I didn't realize that there was a profit share component. That's why when I saw that, I was just like, oh my gosh. Maybe some of you knew that. I was completely unaware of this, though. And so the potential for conflict, yeah, exactly. He says more acute, 100% on point. And then Attorney John Deaton retweeted that from Attorney Bill and said the following. Actually, no, I'm going to pull up the screen. He shared two screen grabs with these figures. And so Attorney John Deaton says, 2017 Hinman got $7.8 million in profit sharing. In 2018, he got $1.8 million in profit sharing, in addition to quote-unquote retirement money. This is why there was a complete 100% criminal bar against him, having any contact with Simpson Thatcher. Yet he disobeyed the SEC ethics office again and again. Exactly, because he does not give a damn. He must view himself as above the law. You got to be arrogant. I mean, to behave like this so recklessly, it doesn't look good. So, as far as whether or not he actually broke the law, I'm going to leave the attorneys to figure that out. I'm just saying this doesn't look good. But as far as the figures, and John Deaton, of course, was using round numbers there, you can see here what's listed: Simpson Thatcher and Bartlett LLP partnership. And he's used the round number, so this is where the $7.8 million comes from. And the income type is listed as partnership income. That is profit share. If you're a partner, so he's effectively owner of the firm. Like he is receiving income based on the performance. And then so that was for 2017. And then we go to this page, and you can see right where I'm circling now, more partnership income, about $1.8 million for the following year. Not exactly good look, folks. Not exactly a good look. But on the bright side, we can laugh at the SEC, can't we? Oh, yes, damn it, we sure as hell can. You guys familiar with Crypto Town Crier? This is a website created by XRP, the Standard Productions, which is basically like The Onion, but for the XRP. And now he's just made it more broad for crypto. And it really is just like The Onion, but for crypto, and it's absolutely hilarious. I love this. So here's the website, Crypto Town Crier. Nothing but parody here. And here's the headline. I absolutely love this. In effort to increase diversity, SEC hires people with ethics. What a novel idea. I freaking love this. Check this article out. In accordance with new federal diversity mandates, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, announced a listing for 50,000 new employees who possess something called ethics. And that's in quotes, by the way, ethics. I've never even heard of this strange demographic, said SEC Chairman Gary Gensler to CTC News reporters. Now they're telling me I need to hire 50,000 of them to balance out my staff? The recommendation came after a recent audit showed the commission to have well-balanced ranks in race, gender, age, and sexual preference. But surprisingly, not a single employee who possessed a modicum of ethics. Pfft, scoffed Gensler. How are we supposed to accomplish this? They might as well tell me to hire 50,000 one-armed, one-legged Jamaican breakdancers. Ridiculous! What are these ethics you speak of? I know not. It's funny because it rings true. It's exactly, there's a serious, notable portion of reality in there, which is why this is, because like, what is humor? It's like, you could define it a number of ways, but it's absurdity. If something's absurd, it's funny, right? So that's part of it anyway. And this is, the SEC is absurd. And so the idea of having to go out of your way to hire people that have ethics, because no one there has ethics, ringing true, my friends, ringing true. I'll go ahead and wrap up here, though. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or rate. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.